Well, welcome back. This is the second of three videos where we're looking at risk exposure. And during this video, we're going to pick up where we left off last lesson. We covered severity last lesson. This lesson, we're going to look at likelihood. Okay, so likelihood is going to be, as the title implies, the probability that the threat is going to successfully exploit an explicit vulnerability. Not something generic, not something general, but a very explicit threat and a very explicit vulnerability. There are lots of criteria that you can use. We're going to talk about a couple of those in terms of mapping these into tables, because again, this is a qualitative analysis, and so we're mapping these into tables. So we'll talk a little bit about the level of controls in place, the actor, and the threat universe. All right. So if we start off with that threat universe, you can see here a possible mapping. This is the one that the book suggests of low, moderate, and high, where you've either got a very small set of users that can get to it, all of the employees or systems in an organization, or the entire internet are unrestricted. And as you can see, it's a bit more scary, a bit more likely as you move down that chart. If you look at existing controls, same things. If you can block it where you've got to have physical access, you've got to be in the physical room with the computing device, that's a low likelihood event. Moderate, which means you're going to be able to block a lot of it without significant insight. And then high might be the controls to prevent the vulnerability being exercised are ineffective. Okay. Now you can come up with your own language. What the book is doing is suggesting that this qualitative way of sitting down, mapping it to low, moderate, and high, and using a number of criteria like the threat universe and existing controls is a good idea. The last one they do is the threat source. And again, you're kind of moving this to a very small and trusted group, to a defined community of users, to everyone in the internet. Okay? So again, you get this idea of using a three-level qualitative scale for likelihood. And the end result of this is as you map all of those together, is you take the topics that we've covered in the first two videos, this idea of likelihood and severity, and you come up with a relatively simple chart that allows you to map it in. And if you've got a high likelihood and a high severity, it's going to relate or result in a high, overall scale. And this allows you to then make decisions in terms of who gets to approve this, which ones we work on first, so on and so forth. And again, you're doing this for every combination of threat and vulnerability that you've mapped into your kind of risk registry thus far. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and close out this second video, but don't think this is the end of it, because it's not. In the third video, we're going to take this and put it on steroids. We're going to add in sensitivity, and we're going to say, this three-tier system doesn't work for us. We're going to make it a 5. So keep on studying, keep on learning, and join me in the next video as we look at sensitivity and we take these existing concepts, put them on steroids, and drive them to the next level.